Good morning everyone, this is Police Lieutenant Sherwinson Lantano, 47 years old, from Camandalas, Urdaneta City, Pangasinan. I am already 21 years in the service. My educational attainment: I attended elementary from Camandalas Elementary School from years 1982 to 1988. Then for the secondary is in CNHS, which in Camanteles as well, from years 1988 to 1992. Lastly, I am product of Urdaneta City University with the course of BS Criminology from years 1997 to 2001. Then after I finished college review for the upcoming board exam and I was lucky to pass. I trained for 6 months in Cawan Isabela. I started serving our countrymen since the year 2002. 1 year after I graduated, I am already at the service on the December 18, 2002. All in all, I am already 21 years in the service. I started serving our countrymen year 2002 as PO1, then got promoted as PO2 during 2005. Later on, January 2008, I was promoted again as PO3, and just with a span of time, I got the position of PLT via lateral entry up until now. I am a reliable expert witness and I will prove it. The human hand has 27 bones, 8 bones of the carpals or wrist arranged into 2 rows of 4, the 5 bones of the metacarpus palm, 1 to each digit, and the 14 digital bones or phalange, 2 in the thumb and 3 in each finger. What phalange contains in fingerprint pattern? Phalange is the skeletal finger covered with friction skin. It is made up of 3 bones. There are basal or proximal phalange. It is located at the base of the finger nearest the pain. Intermediate or middle phalange, the next and above the basal daan. Distal or terminal phalange, the particular bone converted with friction skin, having all the different types of fingerprint patterns and is located near the tip of the finger. You know that koala bears have fingerprints almost similar to human fingerprints. It is not possible to determine the age, sex, or race of an individual solely from the fingerprints. Bifurcation: single ridge which splits into ridges going side by side or parallel to each other. Most common, ridge hook, ridge that divides from two ridge. One connecting ridge which splits at the side is extremely shorter than the other. Ridge ending, the termination of the ridge of like. Ridge enclosure is the ridge that divides to form two ridges which the rejoin again to form an ridge. Short ridge, a ridge of limited length. Fragment, a ridge of extremely short length. Bridge connects to adjacent ridges. And crossover, the interlapping of two ridges against each other. The curving ridge is a ridge that curves back the direction in the which it is started. Converging ridge, two or more lines forming an angle. A ridge was closed and angular and serves as point of convergence. Diverging ridges, two ridges running side by side and suddenly separating, one ridges going one way and the other ridge another way. Sufficient recurve, the space between shoulders of a loop free of any appearance and abouting right angle. Appendage, a short ridge at the top or summit of a recurve visually at the right angle. Core is a point on a ridge formation located at the center or heart of a pattern. Delta or triradial point near the center of the divergence of the type lines is a point on the ridge formation at or directly in front. Rod or bar is a single ending ridge at the center of a recurving ridge of a loop pattern. Envelope is a single recurving ridge enclosing one or more rods or bars. Staple, single recurving ridge at the center of the pattern area. Creases are thin, usually straight, narrow, while lines running transversely or formed side by side across the print, causing the puckering of the ridges. Insufficient or insufficient ridge. This is kind of um, this is kind of ridge which is falciform, thin, short, or broken, which appears in the depressions between two well-formed ridges. There are three general groups of patterns as described by Sir Francis Galton. The one is arches. Arches ridges flow from one side and make an exit to the other sides. Loops makes a recurve and goes back to the same side of origin. Whereas ridge make a circuit. Okay. This is the plain impression and the Latin print, counting the number of ridges interviewing between the delta and core. The 1 to 5 bifurcation, that is bifurcation. Bifurcation is the forking or dividing one line into two or more branches. 6. Hook, a fingerprint characteristic that comes out of the side of the ridge and suddenly stops in between ridges. 15. Enclosure formation where ridge bifurcates and rejoins to be one in a short distance. And 17. Crossover, the interlapping two ridges against each other. Frequently asked questions. Number 1. What do you mean by epidermal ridges? Dermal ridges and dermal papillae provide increased surface area for the epidermis and dermis to connect the palmar and the plantar surfaces of human and non-human primate are curved with what is known as dermatoglyphics. There are many sweet glands in these places but no hair or sebaceous glands. 2. Are fingerprints made up of ridges? Yes, because the pattern skin of ridges referred to as a dermatoglyphs on the pads of the fingers serve as the basis for a person's fingerprints. The soles of the feet, the palm of the hand, and the toes all have these ridges. What are the furrows? Furrows is a valley or depression between friction ridges. It resists areas between friction papillary ridges. What is meant by minutiae? In biometrics and forensic science, minutiae are major feature of a fingerprint. Minutiae can be defined as the points where the ridge lines end or fork. Number 5. What value are they minutiae in fingerprint identification? Minutiae points are detected by locating the end points and bifurcation points on the thin ridges skeleton based on the number of neighboring pixels. How many layers of skin are there? There are epidermis, top, dermis, middle, and hypodermis, bottom. Fatty layer is 3 constituent layers and each has distance, architecture, and function. Number 7. What is the average thickness of skin on the palmar side of young hand? The average thickness of skin the palmar side of a young adult hand is about 1.5 to 2 mm. However, the thickness may vary depending on the location and age of the individual. What is poroscopy? Poroscopy is science that deals with the study of human pores or sweat gland. This method of identification is introduced by Edmond Lockhart. Is poroscopy a science of identification like fingerprints? Poroscopy is a method of personal identification in which the characteristics of sweat pores on the friction ridge impression of palm and plantar surface are examined. Number 10. What is an link impression? Recording of the frink ridge detail present on the distal joint of the finger and palms. What is a latent print? An impression of the friction skin from the hands, palms, or fingers that has been transmitted to another surface is known as a latent print. A person can be recognized from a latent print to the fixed and distinctive arrangement of their characteristic on the skin. What are fingerprint pattern fingerprint pattern and pattern areas? There are 3 main fingerprint patterns called arches, loops, and whorls. The common characteristics that make up these patterns are known as pattern area, type lines, delta, and core. Can palm prints like fingerprints used to establish identity? Yes, because one of the most important benefits of fingerprints is to help investigators connect crime scenes with other crime scenes involving the same person. Fingerprint recognition also helps investigators track criminal records. Number 14. What is edioscopy? Edioscopy, which can be used as a method of personal identification, is the study of characteristics of the edges on the ridges. Number 15. In fingerprint comparison, what is meant by apparent dissimilarity? It is a difference in which, in the opinion of the examiner, can be explained. Number 16. Is there a specific number of points one must find in order to conclude a positive identification? The number of points required to conclude a positive identification can vary depending on the context and the criteria set by the relevant authorities or experts. In many fields, such as forensic science or biometric identification is often I'm sorry. In mere fields such as forensic science or biometrics identification is often based on the comparison of multiple characteristics of features. These characteristics could include fingerprints, DNA, profiles, facial features, or other unique identity markers. Number 17. What are the basic premises of fingerprint identification? The two underlying premises of fingerprint identification are uniqueness and persistence. To date, no two people have ever been found to have the same fingerprint, including identical twins. In addition, no single person has ever been found to have the same fingerprint on multiple fingers. Number 18. Is fingerprint identification an exact science? If yes, then why would two exams different in their opinion? Yes, variability can be viewed as the effect of implicit individual decision thresholds. This threshold is measured and has been shown to vary widely between examiners. This variation may be due to different and ability, risk, tolerance, or bias. Number 19. Could you determine exactly the age of latent impression? Fingerprints are often used as reliable means of identification, but currently there is no way to reliably determine how long latent fingerprints has been deposited. What is latent print transfer card? The chance impression left an item through the transfer of um, perspiration and oils from the friction-rich skin to the item itself. At times, the transfer can be visible to the naked eye. 21. How is latent print lifting done? This is done by coating fingerprints with powder, lifting them, and then taking them to the forensic lab, where they are compared to fingerprints in the database. 22. What is transfer lifting tape? This is double-sided adhesive with a released paper backing used to band two substrates together. Transfer tape is typically applied using the dispenser, but it can also be applied manually. Transfer tapes are great for banding a variety of surfaces. 23. What methods are employed in the development of latent prints and how do they work? Some methods that are employed the development of latent prints include superglue, ninhydrin dye staining, physical developer. All of these methods work by reacting with effort by different components of the latent print such as amino acids, fatty acids, and proteins. These reactions reveal the print's presence and create a visible image that can be analyzed compared to known prints. 24. How long will a latent print last? There is no scientific way to know to how long latent fingerprint will last. Latent prints on glass, china, and other smooth objects can remain on the surface for many years if the latent prints are in will project location. 85. What is meant by smudge print? Is smudge prints the same as the print of low value? Smudge print refers to a print or image that appears blurry or unclear due to being smeared or smudged, often resulting from improper handling or problems with the printing equipment. It is not necessarily the same as print of no value, which refers on a print that has no practical user of relevance. 56. How many points of identification are found in a normal rolled impression? The number of points of identification found in a rolled impression is it depends on the several factors. Several factors such as the quality of the impression, the type of surface it was made on, the level of expertise of the examiners analyzing it. Therefore, the number of points of the identification in a rolled impression can vary and cannot be definitely stated without further context. What is natural dissimilarity? Excuse me. Natural dissimilarity refers to the inherent difference that exists between individuals or groups due to genetic, environment, or cultural factors. It can be also referred to different in physical attributes such as height, weight, skin color, and facial features. Natural dissimilarity is often used to describe the diversity that exists in nature and among human population. What are the focal points in fingerprint? Of what value are they? Focal points within the pattern areas of loops and whorls are the enclosed the focal points which are used to classify them. These points are called delta and core. The delta is the point on a ridge or in the front of and nearest the center of the divergence of the type lines. The delta, also called the outer terminus, is a point along a ridge formation found at the center or near the center of the diverging type lines. The core, also known as the heart of the inner terminus, usually found at the center or innermost recurve. 29. Can be fingerprint be forged? Yes, a forgery conducted by means of replica of the friction-rich pattern of a finger. This type includes any method of creating a rubber stamp or other impression that resembles real friction rib pattern. 30. Can you tell in all instances that a print has been forged? It can be challenging to determine in all instances where a print has been forged or not, since forges can be very skilled and can create very convincing imitations. Our art experts may utilize various techniques such as examining the paper and ink, checking for inconsistencies in the signature, comparing the print to other existing copies, and conducting scientific analysis among others to authenticate print and identify and potential forgeries. Still, there is no guaranteed way to determine every time a print has been forged with 100% certainty.